In this video, we will explain the self-service component of KONY Integration, where an end user will be able to manage registered devices and change end user passwords. KONY components provide a powerful way to create complex applications quickly. A component can be used in multiple applications. You can create your own reusable components and then drag and drop the components into your application to create sophisticated, fully featured applications without writing all the code. The library contains multiple collections of components that can be used and reused, serving as building blocks for your applications. You can easily import components into the library and then drag and drop them onto a form. To import a component under Templates, click on Components. Select Import Component. An Import Component dialog box will appear. Click Browse to navigate to the location of the component. Select the component. Click Import to upload the component. A dialog box will open stating the components have imported successfully. Select Close. Select Components. Under User Management, you can see all the UI field and Flex Container properties. For each widget, there are certain properties you can set. You can select whether the widget is visible, the platforms on which the widget is rendered, and how the widget aligns with its parent widget and neighboring widgets. You can add a component to a project in virtually any form scenario, including using components within another component. You can download a variety of components from the KONY Marketplace and import them into your projects or import reusable components that you create yourself. Select Form Controller. Under Templates, select com.hid User Management. Under Properties, select the Component tab. Under the Action tab, select Manage Methods. Select Custom. The method should be added. Select Apply. Under Components, click on com.hid User Management. Select Insert Into to add the component to the form. Under Forms, select Flex To. Select whether the widget is visible, the platform on which the widget is rendered, and how the widget aligns with its parent widget and neighboring widgets. If the widget displays content, you can also change where the content appears. In the Properties panel, select the Action tab. Actions define what happens when an event occurs. Click Edit to add action. Search Invoke and select the Invoke function. Select Navigate to Definition to define the navigation method. Click Save. Open the Form Controller to define the text field and set the visible property in the controller to true or false. we are calling the Load User Management function, which is present inside the component, invoking the function from the form to component. To build the project, click Clean Preview and save and run. After the successful build, click on the console and select the URL to launch the application. Enter a valid username to open the self-service dashboard. The self-service dashboard is displayed. The Object Services is a feature of KONY Fabric that enables model-driven application design and development by following a microservices architectural approach to create reusable components and link them to fit into your solution. Using Object Services, you can define your preferred data model, which defines how your application wants to interact with its data. Under Configure Services, select the Objects tab. Click on HID User Management. Under Data Model, the objects are displayed with the default names. Click Fields. The metadata details of the field are displayed. You can add, insert, copy, paste, and delete fields based on your requirements. The core mapper engine is integrated into the Object Services pipeline. The mapper is an engine that logically takes in the JavaScript object notation, or JSON, by using the declarative XML it is passed, modifies the JSON, and creates nodes in the JSON and updates the existing nodes. The request mapping parameters flow is displayed. Select Orchestration to search devices to view the mapping. Orchestration Services leverages the concept of combining multiple integration services, object services, or orchestration services into a single service. This simplifies business logic in client apps and reduces the number of service invocations. This feature helps you to use an existing orchestration service in a Quantum Fabric account and use it to configure a new orchestration service. You can either clone, add existing services, or make changes to them accordingly. Under Data Model, select Change Password to see the fields and data types. Under Mapping, select Change PWD. The request mapping parameter flow is displayed. You can click on Clear Mappings and specify a custom mapping on the request to the SAP to map the backend object to the application model object. The custom verb will be available to the end users like the other verbs in the application. If you do not apply common mapping to the object, you should specify a custom mapping on the response to the SAP. Select Orchestration. Select Change Password and change user password. Open a browser to https://manage.kony.com. Log into KONY Fabric using your credentials. Enter the current and new password as matches with the password policy. Click Save to reflect the new password. The password has changed successfully. In the Fabric console, select Environment. Select the HID Global Dev branch and click on App Services. Select Logs and click Configuration. Scroll to the com.hid.user management component. Select Debug and click Save. Select View Snapshot Logs to get the latest logs. Select Request Latest Logs to get the latest logs with timings. Select OK. Open a log file. You can see the log details of each service. Search for the middleware.log to check whether the API is completed with errors or not. You can see the user created and registered device with the device ID with response status 200. You can get all the API status in this log file.